7 Sick Behaviors of the Covert Narcissist. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are going to discuss a fascinating and important topic, covert narcissism. Specifically, we will explore the top 7 behavioral signs that indicate you may be dealing with a covert narcissist. Covert narcissists are sometimes referred to as shy narcissists, passive-aggressive narcissists, or vulnerable narcissists. Personally, I prefer to call them closeted narcissists, as their traits and behaviors are often much more hidden compared to the overt narcissist, who is typically loud and bold in their actions. The demeanor of a covert narcissist is generally much more timid and concealed. However, at the core of their identity, they share many similarities with overt narcissists. The key distinction lies in the way they express their narcissism. A covert narcissist does not exhibit the aggressive and flamboyant behaviors that are characteristic of overt narcissists. Instead, they operate more discreetly, often behind a facade of humility or victimhood. This allows them to manipulate situations while maintaining an appearance of innocence or vulnerability. Before we delve into the specific behaviors exhibited by covert narcissists, I would like to emphasize the importance of trusting your gut instincts and intuition. This is a theme you will hear me reiterate frequently, as it is crucial in recognizing toxic individuals, including narcissists. The very first sign that something may be off about a person often comes from your gut instinct or your intuitive feelings about them. I cannot stress this enough. In my experience, nearly every victim of narcissistic abuse I have encountered, including myself, has reported having an uneasy feeling upon first meeting the narcissist. This feeling often manifests as a sense that something is not quite right about the person. Often, we struggle to articulate exactly what it is that feels off, but we cannot ignore that instinctive discomfort. The real danger arises when we begin to dismiss that feeling. We might rationalize it by telling ourselves that we are being overly paranoid, or perhaps too judgmental, failing to give the person a fair chance. This kind of thinking can lead to significant problems. It is incredibly important for individuals to reconnect with their gut instincts and intuition. This internal sense is in many ways nature's own radar system, serving as a protective mechanism that we all possess. In fact, 99% of the time, your gut instinct is correct. Therefore, it is vital for those who have been victimized by a narcissist to hear this message clearly. You must learn to trust your gut instincts and intuition. If you have ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, you may have experienced a troubling reality. They often work actively to undermine your perceptions, instincts, judgments, and intuition. This manipulation can be so pervasive that many individuals find themselves losing touch with their internal feelings and instincts. It is not uncommon for narcissists to succeed in clouding your judgment and making you doubt yourself. Therefore, it is essential to reconnect with those feelings and instincts to regain your sense of self. When I first embarked on my healing journey, I learned this crucial lesson from other survivors of narcissistic abuse. At that time, I had become so disconnected from my internal feelings that I struggled to identify them. Even when I could recognize certain emotions or instincts, I often found myself doubting them. I sought constant validation from others, needing reassurance that my feelings were valid and that I was interpreting situations correctly. This reliance on external validation can be a significant barrier to healing. As I began my first year of recovery, I made a conscious commitment to listen to my gut instincts. Although I did not fully trust those feelings at that point, I decided to follow them anyway. This decision marked a pivotal moment in my healing process. Let me share an important insight from that year. I did not just avoid minor issues. I successfully dodged some serious threats. During that year, I encountered 3 different individuals who exhibited narcissistic traits. Each time I met them, I experienced a sense of unease. They were charming and likable on the surface, and there was nothing overtly negative about them that would immediately raise red flags. However, my instinct spoke to me and I chose to listen. Reflecting on those experiences, I am incredibly grateful that I trusted my feelings. As it turned out, 2 of those individuals were indeed narcissists, and one of them was a sociopath. The women who became targets after me experienced tremendous difficulties in their lives as a result of their interactions with these individuals. This reinforces the importance of trusting your gut instincts. They can serve as a vital line of defense against harmful people. Today I can confidently say that no one, and I truly mean no one, could persuade me to ignore my gut instincts again. I have learned the hard way how crucial it is to pay attention to that inner voice. Now let's delve into the top 7 behaviors of a covert narcissist. Number 1. Covert narcissists are deeply preoccupied with their appearance and the image they project to others. They place a high value on their reputation and desire to be seen as well-liked and highly respected members of society. Unlike overt narcissists, who often do not care about offending others and typically refuse to apologize for their actions, covert narcissists are much more concerned about how they are perceived. They will go to great lengths to conceal their negative behaviors and maintain a facade of morality and respectability. For example, a covert narcissist might become actively involved in their local church or participate in various charitable organizations. By aligning themselves with groups that promote high values and ethics, they aim to reinforce the image that they are principled individuals. However, the reality is often quite different. In my personal experience with a covert narcissist who had a son with overt malignant narcissistic traits, I observed that her primary concern was not the abusive or cruel behavior of her son. Instead, her main worry was about how others might perceive him. She frequently wondered, what if someone sees him acting this way? Or how can we manipulate the situation so that people believe he hasn't done anything that terrible? The lengths to which covert narcissists will go to cover up their unacceptable behavior are astounding. They may resort to smear campaigns against others, or set people up to take the blame for their actions. Their primary goal is to protect their own reputation and avoid accountability for their actions. Like other types of narcissists, they do not experience genuine feelings of shame or remorse. Instead, their primary fear is being discovered or exposed for who they truly are. Number 2. Covert narcissists often exhibit what appears to be false humility. They may act in a self-deprecating manner, giving the impression that they are humble and grounded individuals. However, this behavior is often a disguise for their underlying pride. They may fish for compliments or seek approval from others, and their motivations are just as manipulative and self-serving as those of overt narcissists, even if their demeanor suggests otherwise. These individuals frequently act as if they are genuinely concerned about the well-being of others. They ask questions about how others are doing and express a desire to help in any way they can. However, when it comes time to actually provide support, they are often absent or fail to follow through on their promises. They might agree to help but then show up late, forget entirely, or pretend that no agreement was ever made. Moreover, this feigned concern often serves a more sinister purpose. Covert narcissists may use their seemingly genuine interest in you as a way to gather information about your vulnerabilities and weaknesses. By learning more about your personal life, they can later use this information against you when it suits their needs. In this way, their concern for you is less about genuine empathy and more about manipulation and control. Number 3. Covert narcissists have a tendency to create conflict by pitting people against one another. They thrive on drama and often do so under the pretense of being concerned for others. Frequently, they will drop hints or share information about someone with the intention of causing discord, fully aware that their actions will lead to problems. This behavior allows them to escape any responsibility for the chaos they create. They may gossip or spread misinformation, whether it be among family members or within your social circle. Both overt and covert narcissists become easily bored, which drives them to incite drama and chaos for their own amusement. They revel in the turmoil they create, particularly during significant events such as holidays, birthdays, weddings, or funerals. Any occasion where they are not the center of attention becomes a potential opportunity for them to stir up trouble. They may feign tears or instigate arguments, all the while enjoying the attention that comes from the resulting chaos. This manipulation provides them with what is known as narcissistic supply as they orchestrate drama, without others realizing who is truly behind it. The ego boost they receive from these antics is considerable. Covert narcissists often believe they are much smarter than everyone else and feel a sense of superiority. They act with a sense of entitlement, feeling justified in doing whatever they want without regard for the consequences. While they engage in the same harmful behaviors that overt narcissists do, they tend to do so in secret or behind closed doors. However, this does not diminish their manipulative, deceitful, and conniving nature. They are just as dangerous as their overt counterparts. Number 4. Covert narcissists often adopt the role of a perpetual victim or martyr. They frequently make guilt-inducing statements, aiming to evoke feelings of indebtedness, pity, or sympathy from others. Their goal is to manipulate and exploit these emotions to achieve their own desires. The more they can make you feel sorry for them, the more control they can exert over you. It is astonishing how adept they are at provoking feelings of obligation or duty in those around them. They masterfully position themselves as victims in a wide range of situations, often claiming that they are consistently wronged or mistreated. This constant portrayal of victimhood is a significant red flag when identifying a covert narcissist. If you notice someone in your life who perpetually presents themselves as a victim, and their circumstances never seem to improve, it is essential to recognize this behavior as a strong indicator of covert narcissism. Number 5. Covert narcissists often express their displeasure through body language and tone of voice, rather than through overt displays of anger. Unlike overt narcissists, who are known for their explosive rage and aggressive behaviors, covert narcissists tend to communicate their dissatisfaction in more subtle ways. When an overt narcissist is upset, their feelings are usually clear, due to their loud and aggressive demeanor. They are skilled at making their displeasure known, using body language, facial expressions, and a commanding tone of voice. In contrast, covert narcissists might not raise their voices or lash out verbally. Instead, they communicate their unhappiness through nonverbal cues. For example, they may give you a disapproving look or roll their eyes, both of which send a clear message that they are not pleased. Their body language can be quite telling. They might cross their arms, turn away, or display signs of boredom, such as sighing or yawning inappropriately. Additionally, covert narcissists often speak to others in a condescending or demeaning tone, as if they are talking down to a child. This tone can be patronizing and belittling, and it serves to reinforce their sense of superiority. While overt narcissists might openly express their anger, covert narcissists prefer to convey their displeasure, quietly relying on these subtle forms of communication to manipulate and control those around them. Number 6. Pathological envy is another prominent trait of covert narcissists. Beneath their seemingly shy and timid exterior lies a deep-seated jealousy of others' successes. While they may outwardly appear to congratulate and celebrate the achievements of those around them, this is often just a facade. Internally, they are seething with envy and resentment. They may not openly attack those they envy, but they are likely to plot and scheme behind the scenes to undermine or sabotage others. Covert narcissists often engage in minimizing the accomplishments of those they envy. They may attribute your success to luck, rather than acknowledging your hard work and dedication. For instance, they might say things like, "Your success was just a stroke of good luck. It didn't require any real skill." This tendency to downplay others' achievements is a way for them to cope with their own feelings of inadequacy and jealousy. Furthermore, covert narcissists may go so far as to sabotage important events in your life. They might create situations that lead to arguments or cause stress, such as depriving you of sleep before a crucial interview or a significant deadline. This behavior is driven by their envy and desire to prevent you from achieving success. They want to ensure that you do not experience the happiness or recognition that they feel entitled to, but believe they cannot attain. Number 7. Covert narcissists are highly sensitive individuals who tend to take things very personally. Unlike overt narcissists, who often display a lack of concern for how their actions affect others, covert narcissists are deeply affected by perceptions of neglect or misunderstanding. They harbor a belief that they are special and unique, yet they feel profoundly unrecognized by the world for their distinctiveness. This sense of being overlooked can lead to feelings of bitterness and resentment because of their heightened sensitivity. Covert narcissists are prone to feelings of neglect. They often perceive themselves as morally superior to others, and may portray themselves as victims, claiming that their wonderful contributions go unappreciated. In their view, many people around them are boring or ignorant, which can lead to a smug and judgmental attitude. This perception not only distances them from others, but also reinforces their feelings of isolation and unappreciation. Moreover, many covert narcissists experience episodes of depression. They can easily become overwhelmed by feelings of being unacknowledged or misunderstood, which can spiral into deep sadness. In extreme cases, some covert narcissists have resorted to suicide attempts as a means of seeking attention or recognition, believing that such drastic actions will finally highlight their struggles and the specialness they feel they possess. In conclusion, the underlying motivation for all narcissists, whether overt or covert, is a desire for control. Overt narcissists tend to use more aggressive tactics, such as demands, threats, fear, and intimidation to exert control over others. In contrast, covert narcissists utilize more subtle methods, including guilt, self-pity, victimhood, and a sense of obligation. While overt narcissists are loud and bold in their approach, covert narcissists often present themselves as shy and vulnerable, playing the victim to manipulate those around them. Thank you for joining me for today's discussion. If you found this video helpful or insightful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Additionally, if you know anyone who might benefit from this information, feel free to share the video with them. Your support helps us grow this channel and reach more people who may need to understand these complex dynamics.